Hey everyone, how's it going? As usual, I'm streaming on YouTube, so if you want to jump over there, you could feel free to see different views, and I've got some music also going. Yeah, so today I'm trying a new recipe. It's something that my mom normally makes when she's here, but she's been gone for a while, so I thought I'd just give it a shot. And it's a very simple recipe. You have to get some mung beans, so we just buy them dry. So if you can see, these are just organic mung beans. I'm not sure if you can read that. Right? And I take about half a cup of the mung beans, and I soak them in water, and I also take a half a cup of just rice. I use brown rice, and I just soak them overnight. So these are just soaking in water. They've been soaking about almost a day now, right? And you're gonna strain this, and then, so let me just just take it out of the water here. You want to rinse it, make sure that the water isn't too dirty at the beginning. Just give it a good rinse. And then you can toss it into a blender. So the great thing about this recipe is that it's gluten-free, right? So we take, I'm just trying to get as much water out of this as possible, and just drop it into our blender. There we go. And just going to add a couple other things to the blender, but just going to give this a quick rinse because I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this for the sambol I'm making, which means it translates to salad. So it's like a coconut based salad, and it's a very simple salad as well. So you've got your contents you put in the blender here, right? And then we're going to need a couple different things. So you want to have, a couple pieces of garlic, right? So I got like 4 garlic here. I'm just going to put them in whole. I've got about, let's say, 1 inch of ginger, right? And I'm going to put that into the blender as well, whole. And then I've got an onion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this onion up. Sorry, there's a bit of the... I'm going to cut this onion in half. I'll show you why. So I'm going to take 1/2 and put it in there, and then the other half I'm going to mince it really finely because I'm going to put it afterwards in the mix. I guess I could just loosely, finely chop this, but it doesn't have to be like super fine, right? Because you could just toss it into the blender and let it handle a little bit of it. So leave half aside. And yeah, so now we've got the contents of the rice, the mung beans. So there's basically 5 ingredients in there, right? So the mung beans, the rice, half a cup of mung beans, half a cup of rice, half an onion, 4 garlic, and 1 inch of ginger. And then I've got some cumins. You can also use cumin seed if you have cumin seeds, right? And I'm just going to put a teaspoon of cumin in there. There we go. It's just to give it a little bit of flavor. Now you can add salt or whatever you want to this. I know some people like to add salt to their rotis and stuff like that, but I just find that roti is the base. I don't necessarily like having salt in there. Oops, I almost forgot the water. And then you got to add a cup of water. Okay, and I'm going to mute so you don't have to hear the noise. So now we have this blended, right? And you want it to be a little bit on the runny side. You don't want it to be too thick. When it gets too thick, you're gonna get like really thick dosas. And in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of thick dosas. I like them skinny. I don't use oil, so these aren't gonna be like the dosas that you would see that are like super crispy, but if you want to use oil, you can get them crispy. So I'm just going to cook this on a non-stick pan. So this is basically it. This is dosa right there. This is the mix of the dosa. Now I just remembered that I need to grab another onion. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this into my blender here. There's a couple ways you could do this. You could just add it to your blender and just mix it up. So when you're using your ladle to make the dosas, you just get a little bit in, right? So it's like adding some chunky elements, right? So we can put the blender back. So now the dosas are ready. We're gonna work on our sambol. So Pol Sambol is a traditional Sri Lankan, I think Indian salad type dish. So as I said, sambal means salad. So it's a cold dish. So what you normally do is you would grate a coconut, right? You get the coconut and you use a coconut grater and get the fresh coconut. I don't have a coconut grater, and it's a bit of an effort. So I just have frozen coconut. So this coconut bag has about 400 grams. And I used about a third of it yesterday. A third of it was a lot. You probably get 2 servings out of it. So that's what I would recommend. Unless you're gonna eat this alone, maybe just take about 75 grams if you're like measuring. So I've got my coconut in there, and it's best to use a fork for this dish, just because to get it all mixed up. Right, and so let me grab a fork. So just make sure, just because this is a frozen coconut, you want to get like it separated nicely, right? And just give me 1 second. I should have brought 2 onions. I only brought 1. I knew why I was grabbing a large onion, but then I just settled for a small onion. But I needed a large onion. So you need to take an onion and you need to grate it finely, or finely chop it. Onions have been giving me problems lately. Getting the skin off or getting the skin stuck to my knife. I don't know about everybody cooking, but just having trouble with onions lately. Hey everyone. If you just joined, we already made our dosa base and it was very simple. I think we got it done in the first like 5 minutes or so. And now I'm just working on the Pol Sambol. So we got our onions here. So we got half an onion. Drop that in. Right? Mix that up. And you do want it to mix up well. Like, don't have too big chunks of onions. And then, so now going back to how simple this dish is. Hey Anthony. Oh, sorry, Action Kathy. So I'm gonna grab some dried red chilies, right? So I've got about 5 here. I think yesterday I used about 5 and it wasn't that spicy. So I'm gonna grab about 7 of these red chilies, dried red chilies. Pop them into a coffee grinder, right? It's gonna be pretty quick. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna take the sound off. And we are back. So now we've got, I'm just going to turn this upside down because hopefully everything just falls in. Yep, perfect. So now we've got our chili gratings, right? And we're just going to pop that right into, now you're probably going to say, wow, that's probably going to be pretty hot. There we go. So we got that in there, right? And just give this a quick mix. And 2 simple ingredients left. So you want this to take, because the coconut's got a liquidity or liquid in it, you want it to kind of stick to all the coconut and mix up finely. And then we're gonna add one more primary ingredient, and then you have an option of what you want to do for the last one. So while I'm doing this, I'm just going to turn on the heat here. I'm going to get it to about medium heat on my frying pan to get the dosa ready. We're cutting it close. So I'm going to squeeze these 2 into my sambol here. I should probably just do one hand. Get everything in there. Okay, so we've got that one and this one. So there we go. Oh, I love the smell of lime. I don't know about you guys, but love the smell of lime. Okay, with my hands here, and then the option is if you want to add a bit of salt, you can add a bit of salt. My hands are sticky, so probably not gonna get a lot of that salt off there. Sticky from the lemon. And I'm just gonna give this a nice mix now and let that kind of just settle and absorb in there. So that's what it's gonna look like. Show you on camera. So this is the Pol Sambol. It's like it's a raw coconut and onion, chilies, lime, and a little bit of salt. There we go. Okay. And then now we've got, a little bit over time. So we've got this going. And now we're gonna pour the dosa mix in here. Right? So what you want to do is you want to get it in, and then you want to start like skimming it around so that it doesn't get too thick. Move it around. There we go. Normally I make the first one a little bit smaller. The heat needs to go up a bit. Hey Monica, how's it going? Intelligent chefs are left-handed. Okay. I'm right-handed actually. This mixed up. Okay, so I should turn this on a little bit earlier, and we would have been fine on time. But so hope everyone's doing well. Sorry I didn't get to chat right away at the beginning because I'm so focused on meeting my deadline here. Hey Rob, how's it going, buddy? Oh, you got a question here. Oh, it's requests. Sorry, no requests right now. If you have any questions, you can just drop them in the question button at the bottom, and I'll see it easier. Sometimes I miss comments. So if you want to do that, you could shoot a question, so you could start to see if you're watching on the YouTube feed, you'll probably be able to see it better, but you'll start to see it's starting to like bubble up and get cooked through. So I turned up the heat a little bit, and now I've got grab my spatula. You know what? While I'm waiting, just clean up this area a bit. Oh, now it's going. Okay, so the trick to this is just try to get right under it and then flip it. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna let the other side cook a little bit more, but I'm gonna keep the heat to like 8 out of 10, and then it should cook faster, and it's got a good thickness to it too. So I try to make this recipe during the week. And when I made it the last time, I used a different ratio of mung beans and rice. So I was just trying to get it because it was too thick with the more mung beans that I had in it. So I reduced the amount of mung beans and left more rice, hoping that it wouldn't be as thick and be more crispy. And it looks like it's working out. Thank you for the hearts. If you have any questions, just shoot them in below, and I will get to them. Hello, how's it going? Oh, you love the cameras? Thank you. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but it's well worth it, right? Because you can look down into what I'm doing. Okay, so there we go. So that's what the what it should look like. There, like that. So dosa is like a pancake, but it's on the savory side, right? So pancakes, depending on how you make it, you can make the pancakes just more fluffy and no flavor. But dosa is like a pancake on the savory side, and that you eat with like curries and stuff, right? It's a good option because you can pre-make the paste and just kind of leave it in your fridge. And when you're ready to eat, you just make it. It's a little bit different than roti because roti is a dough. So you've got your gluten content in there, right? It's a heavier meal. Dosa I consider dosa to be a lighter meal, but it does have mung beans. So, it gets on the heavier side because of the mung beans, right? Sorry, I guess this is going to be running too long because I'm going to be outside of my timeline here. So sorry if I clickbaited you into getting a 15-minute meal. This would have been 15 minutes if you prepared well, right? So I wanted to show you how to blend the dosa and stuff like that. Hello, Jacinta. So we're just cooking our dosa right now. I just showed everybody how to make the dosa. So here's your first dosa. I'm going to put another one on the stove. You want to get it nice and thin. Kind of move around. Right, and then you'll start to see like little bubbles, just like how you make pancakes for breakfast. You'll start to see little bubbles come through, right? And then that's kind of when you know that it's close to being ready to flip, and you can get under it and then flip it, and then try not to splatter it like I just did there. Right? And this is actually exactly what you want to happen. So you get more of the brown when you first have it on. No, so naan is made with flour as well. So naan is like a bread. Dosa is like a pancake, right? Naan and roti are very similar in terms of how you make it. So There we go. I think I flipped this a little bit too soon. And now we've got 2. I'm gonna make 1 more, and I'll show you what it looks like while I'm eating it. Okay, so we'll do 1 more. You could probably get a good, depending on how big you make them, you probably get a good 5 out of these, out of this mix. Okay. So we've got this one going, and it's bubbling up, so it's like almost ready to flip. You can try to, if you have a spatula like this that like really bends, right? You just follow the curvature of your pan, and you could get right underneath it, right? Shake it around, and then drop it. There we go. Don't mind the like little pieces that get stuck. Ow, that's hot. Okay, so this one's almost over. I'm just going to turn off the heat. Oh, you're watching YouTube on your screen? That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, we have a Fire Stick, so we watch all of our kids' YouTube channels and stuff like that they like to watch on our TV as well. It's pretty cool. There's been such a change, right? Kind of, I grew up in a generation where, you know, you had to tune in to when a TV show was on. Then we kind of adapted to on demand because of work. You know, you could never be where you needed to be when a show came out. And now it's, you know, everybody's kind of watching it on demand, right? So yeah, so that's what it looks like. There we go. So I've got 3 naan there, right? I'm gonna serve some of my Pol Sambol. Do the camera here. Just serve some of my Pol Sambol. The Pol Sambol is one of my favorite traditional dishes. Look at that. So there's fresh coconut here, onions, right? And then you've got this gluten-free dosa on the other side here, right? So let's get into this. So I'm gonna have to pick up from the bottom dosa because the top ones are pretty hot. See how the spice is today. Oh, I love it. You know what? Now I get, you know how they say put the lime in the coconut? What a great combo. There's just lime in this, right? So it says for 400 grams of mung beans, there's 8 grams of protein. So that's 16% protein, right? We used 250, wait, actually we used half of that, so 125. So that's like, let's say around 22. Yeah, let's say 22 grams of protein in this entire mix, not considering the rice or anything else we're working on here. And I got more than half of this. right? Because I said I could probably make 5 out of these, and I made 3. So yeah, so that's a good amount of protein in just like dosa, right? Simple way of getting protein. Normally us vegans don't worry about protein unless we're doing some type of training, right? You love my shirt? Thank you. Check my story. Bumblebee tees. I don't know if you can see the back. It's a brand that I'm launching. Should have poured myself some water. So I put 7 dried chilies in this, and it's pretty good. So there's 6.6 grams of protein in this bag, which has 400 grams. So let's just say, so I used a third, so about a third of that bag. It's 6.6, yeah. So let's round that up to like 9. So 9 grams of protein there, right? If you eat a nice balanced diet, bye Monica. Okay, tell her I said hi. If you eat a balanced diet, you're gonna get your protein intake, and on top of that, you're gonna get all the vitamins and minerals, right, that you wouldn't get from just, focusing on protein in a dish, right? So I was saying, part of my plan is to prepare, because I need to get a photo picture for my post and my thumbnail. So my part of my plan is to cook the dish prior, unless I've already made it before, then I'll just use an old photo. So when I made this yesterday, I used a half and half. Sorry, not a half and half. I used 1 cup of mung bean and only like 2 tablespoons of rice. But wow, the mung bean flavor just overwhelmed. And it was way too thick. So what's everyone doing this weekend? I forget your first name. It starts with an H, right? Is it Hira? Sorry, referring to nutrition at its best on YouTube. Nice to meet you too. Have a great weekend. If you have any questions, just pop them in the thing below. So if you're just joining, we made some dosa, right? And some Pol Sambol, which is almost done. Right? Pol Sambol is made out of coconut. It's like a fresh salad. And we're eating now. Almost done. Oh, why not just finish the Pol Sambol? So for a tip for the Pol Sambol, do not try to keep it too long in your fridge. In my opinion, I would say 1 day max. I remember once, I think I tried to stretch it for a week and I ended up getting sick because coconut doesn't stay well, especially fresh coconut doesn't stay well in the fridge. This is the last of it. That was yummy. So that is it for today. Hope you had a great day. Your week was good, I hope. And enjoy your weekend. And I will see you on the next stream. I'm going to be doing a juicing stream on Tuesday at 1:30, so the same time as this stream. The juicing streams generally go a lot quicker. So join me for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone, and thank you for your support. Bye.